to the Momversation Club. I'm Claire Strong.
And I'm Christina Struckmeyer.
We're two mums just like you, navigating the nitty-grittiness of modern motherhood and taking you along with us as we talk about the topics that no one else talks about.
And today we're talking about finding your style in motherhood, how we were able to drop the mom bun and leggings most days and lean into our new aesthetic, framed around body acceptance and dressing to feel your very best in motherhood.
Hi, Christina.
Hey, Claire. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm laughing a little bit because we're talking about style today.
Yeah.
And I look at my outfit and I love this. Like the full length of this is great. On camera, it's giving like Fred Flintstone, but in like a cute way.
Print. In fact, I have a cheetah print top, so I should have worn that, and we would have been a little like Flintstone overload. But nevertheless, yeah, I love a good cheetah print.
I love a cheetah print. Like a cheetah print is a neutral in my house, like with me and the girls.
I love cheetah. Well, actually, no, they do, but I do. We all do. We're a cheetah print house here. Yeah,
okay.
I love
cheetah
it.
girls, cheetah sisters.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, today was inspired because I have recently been kind of getting back into dressing myself and getting out of the mom rut. Feel like the first years of motherhood, and if you scan any Mommy and Me or Playground, you're going to see a lot of mom buns. You're going to see a lot of leggings, a lot of oversized t-shirts and sunglasses. It's kind of like our mom uniform that we take on, like when we're first with the little guys. And I don't know, my daughter is starting to hit that preschool age. And I'm starting to find that I want to dress up again and like have a little bit of sense of style these days. But like, I don't know if this is a common thing for everyone. I assume it is common because I've gotten a lot of feedback for it. But you go back to your old clothes and they don't hit the same. Whether they don't fit or they don't align with your new life or they just don't make sense anymore. And so I did a post about kind of this space I'm in of like accepting where I'm at and dressing for where I'm at in my life. And it got a lot of feedback on my personal Facebook. So we thought, why not bring it to you guys and talk a little bit about how I got there?
So for anyone that hasn't seen that, just tell us about that post, because I saw it and thought it was great, and you did get loads of feedback. So what was it?
Oh, thank you.
Why did you even want to post that? I want to know why as well, because
That's great. Such a good question, Claire. Like, why did you post it? Because there's the post itself, which the post itself was talking about. So previous to my John as a podcaster, I worked in like a health and wellness MLM. And a lot of my job, like I've spoken about on this pod, was about being small. It was like, be skinny. Here's a before and after. And so when I went through healing from that space and also having my daughter, my body changed quite a bit and I gained a lot of weight. And I kind of thought of myself as this like under construction project, like a home renovation that isn't quite done. Like, don't look at the unfinished basement. It's awful. Like, that's kind of how I was. Because I was like, this is a transition period for me. Like, I will be returning to my former self in just a heartbeat. Just 1 second. Everybody shield your eyes. But it's been 2 years now. And I'm not there. I'm not where I was at before, mentally or physically. And I'm kind of like, I can go two ways. I can either continue to hide myself and not dress in a way that attracts attention, because that's what I've been doing, is kind of like wearing outfits that kind of don't, attract too much attention, people aren't looking at me, trying to squeeze into old clothes. And the clothes that I did have were like borrowed from someone or someone gave them to me, their hand-me-downs. Like, it wasn't my style.
Yeah.
And so I kind of was like, okay, we're at a crossroads, because I can either keep going and doing this and like get on it and get skinny, or I can just be accepting of where I'm at now and allow myself to just be here for however long I want to be here. Maybe forever, maybe a couple years, don't know, but I still have value now. And so that was the post. It was like, I'm not going to hide anymore. I'm not a before picture. I'm not under construction. I'm actually just me right now in this moment. And this person deserves to also feel good.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that post, it just hit home because so many mums I know feel that way as if you are under construction. There was the
Yeah.
pre-baby you and the post-baby you. And for whatever reason, we have this narrative in our head that we have to get back to that. And anything less than that is kind of failure. And this is not how it's going to be, guys. Just don't worry, don't worry. I will get back there at some point. And I just love your honesty and your bravery and just how you're owning this moment. And you've decided to let yourself bloom in this moment instead of kind of punishing yourself for not being the, pre baby you. And you're saying, I still deserve to look and feel good. I do look and feel
Yeah.
good. And so, why not embrace this me and, have a wardrobe that reflects me right now instead of, like you say, I think the tendency can be to try and hide away from the world when you're not feeling confident outwardly. And that it's such a shame. So I was so
Yeah.
pleased to see the response of that post because you made it okay for other women who were feeling the same as you to actually say, you know what? I deserve to look good too. I can absolutely go out there and buy myself a great wardrobe and I'm going to look and feel fantastic.
Yeah, I think it resonates with so many people because we do feel that way as
Yeah.
moms. And whether it's, with me, it's a gained weight situation alongside like my lifestyle changing. But for other women, maybe maybe you dress sexier before you were a mom. And then now your, club dress doesn't really like fit at the story time at the library. And so you have to find like a new identity with your clothes. Or maybe you were working prior and all of your outfits are from work
Yeah.
or like being off on a weekend and nothing's really casual.
Yes.
um Sometimes you just go back to your clothes after baby and you're like, this isn't me anymore. Like whatever it is, whether it's a size or a style or an aesthetic, it just doesn't fit anymore, and I can keep trying to push myself in that box, or I can kind of take a deep look at where I'm at right now, accept it, and then move forward with that new self because we're forever changed.
Yeah, and
um
I can relate. You mentioned about, work clothes, for example. I have a whole wardrobe, a whole closet full of
yeah.
really nice work clothes. Some of them that haven't even been worn. They've still got the tags on, and we're talking about like a couple $100 per dress. They're really nice dresses. And I don't have that need to wear them anymore because my career's changed. I mean, when I was, a TV anchor, I needed to look like that. And now, although, we do this, so I am on camera and I'm also client facing in my media coaching business, I don't have to wear that for 8 or 10 hours a day, which is what I previously did. And so I just don't have the need for a lot of those clothes. And some of those clothes I did buy in my 20s or my very early 30s,
Yeah.
and I my body was different then. So and it's not that I can't look good now. I just need to make sure I'm buying clothes that fit my moment, fit my particular phase in life, and are flattering for my body shape now. I don't need to look like I did at 20. I can still look great. It's just, as you mentioned, and I think it's such an important point, it's about embracing it. If you don't embrace it, you're always going to be fighting it, and then you're going to be in a constant state of being dissatisfied with yourself.
That's so true. And I think for me, it started with that embracing, right? Like it
Mm,
starts with you and your perception and like your body image and your identity and like kind of figuring out who am I now? Like
yeah,
what is the current version of me and what does she need?
yeah.
And for me, because of the weight gain, because of the way that body paid it was such a huge part of my life prior. Of being
Mm,
skinny was like my identity.
mm,
It was a huge shift to go back into a plus size body because I had been plus size before.
yeah,
I was plus size, then I was very tiny, and now I'm plus size again. I just went through that brief tiny period. So it's funny because like that's not even my norm. My norm is plus size. I was just skinny
yeah,
for a tiny bit.
yeah.
But I had to work on getting okay with that. And I discovered something called body neutrality that I really aligned with, because for me, I've heard of body positivity, and there's a
Hmm.
lot of like conversation around that. And body positivity meaning, I don't need to hide my body. I love my body. Like I love my legs, even though I have cellulite on my legs. I'm gonna show them. Like, and I think that's amazing. I think if you can get there with yourself and the way that you feel about yourself, fantastic.
Hmm.
That's not my path. Like I am not someone who's like, yes, I love every inch of my body, even things I find not as appealing. Like that's never been my vibe. So body neutrality really was something that I was attracted to, because rather than loving every part of you, body neutrality is about accepting it as it is
Ah,
and looking more toward your physical appearance not determining your entire self-worth. It's one part of you, and it's not even the most interesting thing about you.
mm,
And so I felt that was very good. And that was something that I used first at kind of removing my body and my appearance from being my whole sense of identity, and really looking at like, well, is that the way I feel about other people? Like when I think about my friend Katie, for instance, I have a good friend, Katie. Do
mhm,
I only love Katie when she's wearing, like, when she's like looking her very skinniest, most pristine, hair washed and blown out way? No,
mhm,
I love her at all times. Actually, her body and her appearance has nothing to do with my friendship with her.
mm,
And looking at people and going and then looking inward and being like, nobody else thinks of me that way.
yeah,
I am the only one who is doing that to me. Because outside of like obviously social norms and such, the people that love and care about you are not thinking, man, I have loved Claire less because she's not, exactly where she was at 25. That's not the
yeah,
vibe.
yeah. That's so
So
interesting.
I
It's such
I think
a good
that's
point.
first. Like that's first.
100%, because I think about like my two best friends, and I couldn't care less, whether one of them has gained weight or whether one of them is wearing, sweatpants and hasn't got any makeup on. It literally does not register on my friendship scale. And
No.
so I think we need to, I think a good starting point for us would be to say to ourselves, would we say that about the people we care about? Would we say that
Yeah.
about our best friend? Would we say that about, a female relative, your mum or a sister or whoever it may be that you're close with? And if the answer is no, then we shouldn't be talking about ourselves that way either. And I
Yeah.
just think it's
Yeah.
it's really important as we get older, as we, embrace different phases in our life. I think it's important to realize we aren't just about our physical appearance and what we may have aspired to be in our younger years or at various stages of our life. It doesn't matter that I mean, every phase is different. There are
Yeah.
very few people that look the same 20 years later or 10 years later. Even if you are naturally slim or you've got great skin or whatever, everybody ages, and it's okay to evolve. But I think as women, we need to just remember our appearance does not define who we are. Take the appearance out of the equation. What other qualities do we possess? And, for me, I have to think about, well, I'm really friendly. People like me, and they like me not just because of how I look. They're not kind of saying, oh, well, Claire's legs don't look exactly as great as they did when she was, a lingerie model. No one's thinking that of me. They like me for me. And so I think that we just need to remember that and really think
Yeah.
about, would we honestly say that about our best friend?
Yeah, and I think that body neutrality is like bodies are not good or bad. Like they're
Yeah,
just bodies. They're just
yeah,
there. And honestly, we're all just a bag of skin. Like we if we're going to get real with it, like these bodies change so much
yeah,
throughout our whole lives.
yeah,
And to determine
100%.
our whole worth on staying in this aesthetic that, you or society has deemed acceptable is kind of a waste of time. Um, so yeah, and it's hard. It's really hard because there's the social piece of the way people treat you is different, just
Mm,
straight up. Like the way I was treated as a smaller person versus a plus size person, it's real. There is a big difference. But the reality is the way that you are, the way that you exist is not different. And so you have to kind of be okay with you regardless of what anyone else says. And that's hard to do in a society that constantly reaffirms skinny, pretty, younger, to go against the grain. But I feel like there's a lot more people out there that are doing that now, and it's a lot easier to kind of go in that space. So um, I got there. I was like, okay, acceptance, neutrality. My body is my body. This is what is. Like I don't have to love every inch of me to be
Mm,
okay with saying the person I am right now deserves to feel happy in her clothes, to feel
yeah,
comfortable in her clothes.
yeah,
Um, so then I had to go, okay, well, what triggers those feelings? And I had to minimize the triggers that I knew were around me of making me feel bad about me. And
yeah.
some of that was conversations I had to have with family members and people that were close to me about how they could no longer talk about my body. Like, because that was a thing that was happening. And then also social media. I had to really look at my social media and be like, are the people I'm following and the things that I'm following adding harm to me when it comes to this body acceptance and this new stage of my life? And I deleted a lot of people and following people that I was following. I deleted a lot of the before and after folks and like the body image people. And I brought in creators and influencers and people that are in the fashion space who are in bodies similar to mine. So I
Mm.
went and sought out plus size bodies and creators to start following so that my feed started looking like me.
Mm, that's really important because if you don't see yourself, then you can, as a default setting, think that there's something wrong, and that the reason you're not seeing yourself is because you shouldn't look like yourself, and it's these people that you need to look like. And so I think it's really important that that you aren't inundated with negative and potentially harmful images or messages. But from like a practical point of view, I love this body neutrality. Well, if I can say it, body
Neutrality.
neutrality. Yeah, I mean, it sounds great, and I think actually that's more realistic because there aren't many of us that would say we absolutely love every inch of our body. There are obviously things that we may want to see slightly different, but just accepting those things I think is great. So I just love the concept of this. But from like a practical point of view, how are you actually enacting this in your daily life?
Yeah, yeah. So as far as like the going into the fashion piece of it all and the style of it all.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
okay.
sure.
So first things first, go in your own closet. Like that's what I did first. I went through my clothes and I was like, I'm no longer keeping clothes that make me feel like shit. Like that's
Yeah,
just what's up.
yeah.
Like I'm getting rid of all of the gold pants and the dress that once fit one time when I was like not eating anything but broccoli. Like like I'm getting rid of all the things that make me feel like crappy. And if
Mhm.
it's a nicer item, I'm gonna like sell it on like Poshmark or something and like, get a little bit of money for my new wardrobe.
Uh-huh.
But some stuff like just went in a big pile to Goodwill,
Yeah.
or to people that could use it more than I. I donated to a women's shelter locally, and there was a lot of clothes I got rid of because I had been keeping and storing so much. I did keep a small tote of clothes that I love, like clothes that I love, and that if I get to that size again, yay, I'll wear them. If not, I may consider, having them by a seamstress either taken out or used for something else because I
Mm.
just love the
Good
pattern or
idea.
the material. Or it was important to me. Like I want to keep this
Yeah.
dress. Maybe Stella might fit into it one day or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I think that's great. But it sounds like you were pretty brutal with,
yes,
cutting what was not serving you anymore.
I very much Marie Kondo that bitch. I was like, and so for
Absolutely.
those who aren't familiar with Marie Kondo, she like usually holds up a piece of clothing and is like, "Does this spark joy?" And if it doesn't, it goes in the no pile, and if it does, it stays in the closet. And so I went through and I was like, first off, am I going to wear this? Does this even make sense in my current
Yeah,
life? Like, does this?
that's a good
Am I
start.
going to wear this to the dinner with Alex if I happen to dress up or something? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Also, does it fit? Do I like it? Is it something that was just given to me? Or is it
Uh-huh.
something I would wear right now? Like if I were to shop and this was the store, would I pick all of these clothes still?
Mm.
And part of the help with that was following those creators with the same body type. I was seeing how they were putting together outfits. And I was like, oh, I have a vest like that. Oh, I have a dress like that. Like I started finding ways to put together outfits with stuff I already had.
Yeah.
So I was looking at my closet going, does this fit the new version of me? And if it doesn't,
Mhm.
bye bye. Um, and then I had to rebuild and reshop. And I'm also in a season of like not wanting to spend a lot of money, which I'm sure is
Yeah.
relatable to our listeners.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I decided to go through and go, what do I actually need in the wardrobe and make a list.
Hmm.
So I needed like a couple pair of jeans. I needed some shoes because the shoes I had were like from 2014 and they were no longer in style.
Yeah.
I needed like some jewelry that made sense. And I looked for sales. I went to, the local Walmart. I went to the thrift stores, the Goodwill. I went on Poshmark and Facebook Marketplace and I found the items I was looking for rather than going to the store and like looking out because that was overwhelming.
Mm.
Um,
That's great. So you actually, instead of going into a store, you kind of did a lot of this remotely, but by doing that, you were able to. Well, although you said you went to Goodwill as well, so that's interesting. But you were
Yeah, but like
able
with the
to.
thing in mind, because if you go to like the
Yeah.
store and you just let Goodwill tell you like what you
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
you're gonna come home with a lot more stuff. And I'm not perfect. Like I've definitely come home from like the Goodwill with more than I needed. Like let's be honest. But because it's secondhand, I feel good about that because I'm taking things out of the garbage pile that they'll go into
Yeah.
and the landfill. And
Hmm.
also, it's cost affordable. Like it's not super expensive because those things are all at a lower price.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I got things for my wardrobe and I kind of looked at what silhouette do I feel my best in? Like, because
Mm.
there's stuff that's in fashion and then there's stuff that just doesn't look right on you. Like that's in fashion, but not for me. Like that's not
Yeah.
something I can take on.
And I think that's the
Um,
same, I think every body type has that. There are very few people that can, pull off, every single look that's in fashion. Well, you don't have to. You can mix and match. I've always done that.
yeah,
I've not ever felt pressured into following fashion to a T. But I'll look for inspiration and there'll be certain things that I think would suit me and that I like. And then the other things are just not that I either don't like them or I don't think they'd look great on me. And that's fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so finding out it's not about following trends for me at least. It's about what do I feel good in? What
Yeah.
makes me feel confident? What looks flattering to me?
Uh-huh.
And that's different for everyone. And some people don't care about flattering and they just want to wear what they want to wear. And I say, pop off, girl, like get
Yeah.
it.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. I
for
mean, that's a
me,
lot of confidence. So yeah, respect. If that's what you're
respect.
able to
Like
do.
if you want to wear that,
Yeah.
you get it, girl. I'm happy for you. But for me, I found kind of a silhouette that I like. And then once I found that silhouette, it was really easy to kind of envision outfits that go with that and mix and match. And for me, that was like a lot of drawstring pants tucked into like
Hmm.
looser tops and kind of throwing some jewelry on, some earrings. And I felt like I was an elevated version of what I was wearing, which was like
I
sweatpants
love
and
that.
leggings.
Elevated version. Because here's the thing, when you're in the throes of motherhood, you do need to dress practically. I mean, it's not always going to be a case that you can wear this really, cute suit or dress that you would wear to the office for, all the tasks that are included in motherhood. I mean, it's just not reasonable or practical. But I like that you've just said an elevated version of yourself. So, if you still need to dress pretty practically, that's okay. But you can, maybe add some jewelry to it. Jewelry, in my opinion, just elevates everything. Especially, I mean, I love
Totally.
earrings.
Yes,
Can't
me
wait
too.
for mine today.
Like I have some leopard print earrings on today.
Well, yeah, yours are really cute. I'm kind of hiding mine today with my hair, but I love, love, love earrings. And for
Yeah.
me, even if I've got something pretty simple on outfit wise, I can really elevate it because of my earrings. So yeah, I mean, just kind of hacks as well, because we don't have a lot of time and we sometimes don't have a lot of money either. So just simple, affordable hacks that can just elevate
Yeah.
the work without it being like too much of a headache are just perfect for this stage in our lives.
Totally, totally. And I'm always thinking about that. Like that's something to kind of keep in mind, like you said, when you're in that
Mm.
season with kids. For me, it's like, can this get pulled down by my toddler? Then it's
Yes.
a no because I'm going to flash everyone. Is this short enough for me to scoop up her off the ground if I need to bend over and get her? Do I need stretchy shorts underneath? Because like
Yeah.
I'm going to need to get down there. My shoes have to be comfortable enough to like run after her. Um,
Sure.
I'm not like going off the runway. Like it needs to be something that I can practically wear.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I juice it up, like, with the earrings, with the necklace, which is another thing that moms who had early kids, like 0 to about 2, 3 years old, we
Mhm.
can't wear necklaces or earrings because they'll rip them off of us.
Oh God, I
And
remember that
so
stage.
I've
Yeah.
recently been like, I
Really,
can
really
add
hard.
dangly earrings again because she's not going to rip them off of me.
Yeah.
I can wear a necklace without worrying the chain's going to break.
Yeah.
Um, you can start kind of finding that, and it doesn't need to be super fancy. Like I said, Goodwill has really cute jewelry. You can go to most like Walmart, Targets, like Ross, like those kinds of stores, TJ Maxx, and find stuff. And then people, when you're having things for yourself like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas, you can ask for jewelry. That's something that nobody needs to know your size for.
That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. So there
Yeah.
are real simple ways of just, really embracing your current situation, but also turning up as the best version of you. And I guess that is the message here. It's
Yeah.
not that we just need to be accepting of ourselves, and even if we're not exactly in the physical or even mental state that we really want to be in, don't hide away from the world. Don't, because this is your life too. Why are you not enjoying today or not facing the world because you, as you said earlier, feel that you're under construction? So I
Yeah.
love this message. I really hope that other moms listening to this are going to feel
Yeah.
kind of like liberated to just
Well,
enjoy
and have fun
themselves.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, liberation. Exactly. Have fun with it because
liberation.
we're only this age once, right?
That's
I
so
think about,
true.
we're not going to have this body. We're not going to have the same level of life. What we're doing right now in 30 years, 20 years,
Yeah.
we're going to wish, like, I keep thinking back to the way I look at myself in high school or my early
Mm,
20s,
yeah.
and I have such kind eyes for myself now.
Yeah. That's nice.
And I think when we're in our 50s and 60s, we're going to look back on our 30s and 40s and be like, gosh, I wish I was nicer to her. I wish I would have just worn the dress. I wish I would have just screw what other people think and put on the bathing suit. Like, why do we do this to ourselves? And I'm like, well, rather than waiting 20 years, I'm just going to do that now. And I might change. Like maybe I might get smaller, I might get bigger. Like who knows? Our bodies change. But every version of you deserves to feel good and to feel confident. And we give so much of ourselves to others. It's
Yeah.
about damn time that we like bring it back to ourselves and start dressing for joy and allowing ourselves to be in that space and do kind things for us.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of the Momversation Club.
And if you've enjoyed today's show, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a review.
And we really hope that today's episode has helped you to feel more seen and less alone in motherhood. Until next time, bye for now.